Hi. Hey, you're back. You are so fast. I just started streaming. So how should I call you? Your name is very difficult. No, it's already 9 p.m. here. Oh. It's also weird, right? Well, yeah. So how should I call you? Just hey Retin. It's a name I just don't know. So unfamiliar. A task mutex prevent different tasks from concurrently entering the same critical area. Consider an object that is shared between tasks, but may not be simultaneously accessed by two different threads. For example, this must be done. I think I already do this in this project. Construct a memory page pool. And the second name is Akil or Akil. Is it like a kill or is it like kill? I like short names. Okay, I can call if it's correctly pronounced. I can call you Hey Redden. Hey Redden. It just sounds unfamiliar. Yeah. Well, never mind. Okay. So this is a mutex I wrote a while ago, but then especially for the tasks of my AI stateful task library, and it works as follows. If we have this, then multiple running tasks could use this to prevent concurrent access. Case, my task, wait for lock. Set state, my task locked. If not lock, wait break. And if that succeeds the lock, then I guess we get here and we just are locked. And then we have to do here stateful task adopt lock, do work lock dot unlock, followed by code that does not require lock. I think that the optional here means that if I do not do this, then it will get unlocked when adopt lock gets out of scope. So that seems easy enough. And the lock takes place by calling log on a AIStatefulTaskMutex, passing this pointer to the task. I think you can fit that in. So it is this function here that is going to do the log. In fact, it's going to do multiple logs. And I have it return a boolean. Returns true if this task/thread succeeded in creating all shared resources, and false if another task is doing that. So if it returns false, that is equivalent to not being able to obtain one mutex. So we do if not, then we are in a situation that a certain mutex could not be gotten, and we have to break out of it. We have to break out of the state. Sorry, yeah, of this task. Oh, quite literally break. Or something else. How do you have to do? Oops, I meant alright, we have to call wait. And that is for the current task. The current task is a pipeline factory. This is the task that we are in. Just adding that so I can jump to it. We already have a few condition types, so I'm going to add one. I think these are bits, so I need to use 4 here. And let's call this one yeah. Mutex unlocked. I'm gonna call it create. So if this bit is being signaled, then the task will try again to get mutexes of all the shader resources that it has to create, if any are left. It's just a bit. So condition type is an uint32. And this is a public constant of the pipeline factory. So it is available anywhere, but also like this. This is inside the member function of the pipeline factory. Not sure about the name because this reads like wait for or wait until create shared resources. So it's yeah. Okay, then we do a break. This destructs set binding map. That's problematic. Or is it? It is not problematic if I just have to do that again. Not entirely sure about that. The macros are not type safe. Why would I use a macro? Oh, like that. Yeah, that would be less error prone, I guess. Forcing you to use a bit mask, but it is allowed to use multiple bits. You can wait for multiple bits or signal multiple bits at the same time. It is quite confusing, I have to admit, because there's something else. This is a this is a sorted set layouts pointer that get realized. Descriptor set layouts simply returns a pointer. So I can call that again. And this whole vector is being constructed or not. Get sorted push constant ranges. It's a merge. You can call that again as well, I guess. Actually, I don't need it in this case. The push constants have absolutely nothing to do with... Oh, they do, sorry. They're being used to realize the pipeline layout. I already have to do that. Okay, I see. Yeah, I only want to call these things once. So I call this once, and I call this once, and I call this once. And after that I have my pipeline layout. But this function returns a set binding map that I might need. Why does this have to be so horribly complex? I have the feeling that if this ever gets to work, that the best thing that I could do is delete everything and start over with version 2.0. Finally understanding what has to be done. Anyway, if I want to do this once, I need to make this map here a member of the pipeline factory, so it can survive leaving this function and re-entering it. I guess I'll do that. For now, I'm going to add it here, but I would like to add, put those variables here, the members of the pipeline factory, in the order in which they are being initialized. This is being initialized in this state. So I wonder, where is this initialized? That is called, then set index being called. What? This is a super short function name, so I cannot grab for it. Although maybe you can. Let's. Yeah, I just need a new top, I think. Projects. Well, that's reasonable. And what I'm looking for is a function. There's even a variable like it. So let's just do this. Well, it's almost nothing even. So it's being called from here. That's very early. Very early. It's initialized by create pipeline, or the synchronous window, create pipeline factory. I want to link it to the state of the pipeline factory itself, if at all. Oh, that's very early. Yeah, it's just create pipeline factory called by the user. So that is being done even before the pipeline factory runs. It's not even created yet. Yeah, this is done when creating the pipeline factory, so that is done before the run, before running it even. I think I did not really get this up to date a lot. For example, this is a reference, so that must have been initialized when being constructed. But yeah, maybe I should just put it in the order where when we write to the pipeline out, which is done when we call set pipeline. Which is done when have new pipeline is being called. Yeah, that's called by a different task. The task move new pipelines. It's calling that from this state. I might as well mention that, I guess. Any state is an indication, although the order is not really clear, I must say. I think it's pretty high up because it happens when a pipeline has been created. No, that's the pipeline that's being created, of course. It's not the pipeline factory. So that's actually pretty at the bottom then. Pretty far at the bottom. The factory is creating a pipeline, and then every time it creates a pipeline, we get here. Damn it, now I lost the state that it was. Because this was it, need action. Yeah, it's not hardly worth mentioning here, I suppose, but this is the same thing. It already says it. State move new pipeline need action. And I added to the wrong thing. No, there was about writing to M pipeline layout, and that yeah, it state move new pipeline need action is already mentioned. This one is still a bit unclear. When is this exactly used or initialized? in pipeline factory initialize. Well, this is just a move new pipelines task. Initialize in the pipeline factory initialize. Initialize or initialized? Well, both. Initialize it before this one. So like that then. Okay, so I fix the order a little bit better, and then we put the new thing. The M set binding map I put here now, which is unused in pipeline factory top multi loop while loop. It's probably going to change, I have to say, but oh no, there was this one, yeah. So we are here, the case pipeline factory top multi loop while loop. So let's remove this scope. Okay, so if this results in creating the pipeline layout, the resulting set binding map is going to be the identity, meaning that nothing has to be translated. All the set indexes are just what they are, because we use them to create a pipeline layout. But if we find something in the cache, then what we found in the cache might not match the set index numbers, descriptor set index numbers, and therefore you need translation for them, which is then returned in this M set binding map. Then the call do set binding map callbacks are things that have to be done as soon as that binding map is known. So that is immediately after this function we have finally this M set binding map. So let's add a comment for that also then. Now that we have initialized M set binding map, do the callbacks that needed, whatever. And now we're going to try and create all the shader resources, and I think that the last several days I've been working on towards this point because there is a problem here that we might have multiple pipeline factories running, so multiple threads could end up at this point at the same time, while each shader resource that has to be created may only be created by a single pipeline factory, and the other pipeline factory must wait for that. So assume there are two pipeline factories that come here at the same time, and one of them starts creating the shader resources. Then the other one must wait, because if it would immediately continue running, and then it might try to use, I mean, once it gets here, it assumes that they are created. So what we do is we call this, and if it returns false, then another factory is creating the shader resources. And we have to wait. While if it returns true, then we created the shader resources and they immediately exist upon return. So then we can continue with, well, assuming that they are that they exist. And again, wait is not really waiting; it's just setting a bit somewhere. Maybe I can show you what it does. Go and find it. This is the call to wait. It's not super trivial, but this is just debug code. This logs a mutex to get access to the substate. Not a debug code. And then it does a bit mask thing. So this is idle is just another integer. And we set conditions and the inverse of the skip wait mask. So this is just, I think, a 32-bit bit fiddling, followed by another bit fiddling, and even more bit fiddling and more bit fiddling. So that's just nanoseconds. If it wasn't for the mutex log. And then it returns more or less immediately. But then the running thread is calling break, so it's leaving this function. Oh wait, I changed that. I have to use a return in this function to really leave the function, because there is a for loop around the switch here. Added that a few streams ago. Now, I'm not worrying yet about where we have to return and how. I'm trying to concentrate for the moment on, let's say, what should we do if we are the one that creates all the shader resources. That means we come here. That it should then be equivalent to calling the old create uniform buffers. So we have then already done this. And I suppose we can just continue running. Okay, the layout has been created up here. Kind of nonsensical to have this assert, I think. So never saw it fail. Let's have a look if it's possible that this ever fails. This calls the realize pipeline layout. And that returns each second. Or it gets here, which is simply an infinite loop, so it always returns this. And the ether second is then something that was inserted in the cache that we found, or just inserted with this try in place, aka that value comes from layout, which is simply a unique pipeline layout that is returned by create pipeline layout. Well, if that fails, then we have a big problem. I don't think it's possible to get a null value there. Not even going to test it, I think. Maybe it used to be a little bit more complex, so it was less known if at this point we already executed the above code. But now it's very clear that we do, because we literally do it above this point. I think that looks okay. However, of course, we need to do two things. Understand what happens when we return from this function. Well, I did not change the state, so what is going to happen is that it will return in the same state, and I don't think that is allowed just exactly like this. Plus, if we do that, we would enter at this point when it starts running again, and it would do all of this stuff again, and then, which is exactly what I wanted to avoid. Now we want to enter at the same point as where we left off, more or less. I think I already said I want to do even this only once. So I think I kind of want to enter at this point. Case. Yeah, if I look at the chat and I stop coding, that's also not very beneficial. I need a new case here where I can re-enter this function. Yes, I'm Dutch. Okay, I'll interrupt myself, read what is said in the chat. Yeah, I was deliberately not answering Sean. Question about C#. Yeah, great. The stupid. Everyone is complaining about that. I don't know why YouTube is spamming everyone with my stuff. It's probably though why I have I don't know, 1700 subscribers by now, which I got in like 2 weeks. Annoying of YouTube, really. Did you make any games with the engine? No, the engine isn't even finished yet. Heck, my mobile is the idiot again. He didn't learn anything. Are you making an engine, or are you making something with the engine? And if so, what are you making? I'll think about that once my engine starts working a little bit more. For now, I'm not thinking too much about it. I'll just write tests, I guess, little tests. This is kind of the same way that you have to learn C++. Don't start to write a game. You start with writing hello world, and then you start to write with something that prints 1 till 100. And then maybe you, I don't know, every time a little bit, a little step forward. And that's also the case for my 3D application. I have no plans writing something that you really need a complete team for. A team of 20 guys is necessary at least to write a game, so I'm probably never going to write a game. Linux Viewer is my engine, yeah. And yes, I did call it Linux Viewer because initially, really way back when I started this, like 2 years ago, what I had in my mind was writing an OpenSim viewer, and I can only write stuff for Linux, so I thought I'm going to call it the Linux viewer, and then everyone will understand that if they run Linux, then this is the viewer they will need. Dre Gen asks, can you show the file path or tree you are in real quick? This is my file path that I'm in. Maybe you want to see an overview of all the files of the project. I don't know. Find dot type name type F. Well, I did not write external, so we can skip that part. Then here my code starts with evio and op. And his source is this project, so it's more specific to Vulcan. And here's other stuff again. And this is, I guess, just the Git repository, the local, which I probably should not have printed. And that's the end of my scroll back. Okay, and let's continue coding. Keystone, no, I just don't know anything about Windows. So. I use things of Linux kernel that are specific to Linux to make things faster than otherwise would have been possible. So it's not even portable anymore, really, I think, to Windows. But maybe some Window guru would be able to. But the code that I just showed, all of it, took me at least 10 years to write. So good luck porting that to Windows. Pipeline factory. Okay, so what are we going to call this? This re-entry point has something to do with creating the shader resources. I'm going to call it create shader resources. And here a fall through happens. It requires a semicolon apparently, and before that I just set the state to the new state. So now the state has been set to this new state, and then if we do return here, then once the task starts running again, it will re-enter at this point. We'll have to add this new case here, new state. It comes below this one. And I need to add it to the debug output. So I added it below the top multi-while loop. Yep. Then we get now literally and figuratively into this function here. Keystone, no. I did finish the, what is it called? My memory is so bad I forget words, man. The, nope, can't not remember it. The render graph. I did finish the render graph code. You can make a very complex render graph with just pseudo C++ hackerish here. But this is like the simplest render graph you can imagine. I have the main pass, which takes a depth attachment, I guess, and then it stores output in output. I mean, doesn't get any smaller. Okay then, so handle shader resource creation requests is doing the following. We run over a now sorted list, somewhat sorted. It's sorted. It exists of base creation access type pointers. So the sorting is very random, but the only thing that is important that every shader resource and well, the create access object thereof is sorted in the same order for each of the pipeline factories. And each create access object is unique, so the pointer is unique and specific for that one. So that should work. And then we call acquire by on that shader resource, which tries to get access to it. I'm calling acquire because I was using acquire in my test application that was testing this algorithm. Maybe acquire is not the right word here. It's more like, yeah, acquire ownership. But in this case, we are really going to do locking. Trying to lock a mutex. In English, you would say this pipeline factory locks the shader resource create access. But now we start with shader resource create access, and then what kind of word to use? You have the create access. No, maybe acquire is not that bad. Create access, acquire. If I leave out the by, then it's a little bit too easy to read it as acquire the pipeline factory. So I thought acquire by. Well, let's keep it like this. So this is trying to lock a mutex in order for each of the create access types. If any of those fails, we return false, and by returning false, we just simply leave that loop. Well, that's where we came from. If this returns false, then we call wait and then return. So that means the task stops running. If we get a lock on all of the shader resources, then we are the one that did win this race here, and we are the one that creates all the shader resources, which is then done below here, I guess. Nope, it's not done yet. There's a fix me here. I'll have to fix that later. And in terms of the algorithm, I have to fix acquire by. So this calls acquire by on each of the shader resource create access types, passing an AI stateful task pointer. This is unfortunately a header file. Let's just pass the condition type to it as well. So I want to pass a condition type, which is an element of stateful task. Okay, this code is literally copied from the test application that was testing the algorithm, where being the first one to be pushed into this DQ meant that we obtained the lock. But in this case, that's not the same. We are just the first in the DQ. So I can use the DQ to detect if we are the first. But then I still have to try to get the... Oh wait, actually it's not true. The stateful task Mutex is doing all this stuff now for us. We don't even need the DQ anymore. No, we don't need it anymore. So we don't do this. We just try to lock it. J. Crick asks, how long have you been programming this engine? About 2 years, I think. But I'm new to 3D graphics, so for me it's all new. So it's more like learning than writing. Let's see. This is how to use my AIStatefulTaskMutex. So I'm going to need the mutex itself. We're going to have a mutex for each create access type. And that includes, I think, the DQ. If I look at how this thing works. See, it contains a queue. It contains a queue that's derived from multiple producers single consumer queue. It's a lock-free queue. Very difficult stuff. But, well, once it works, you know, it works. That's my motto. So I put a lot of time in all the code that I write to make sure that I never have to look at it again once it works, because it just is bug-free. So I really don't need to know how this works. But it is funny to see that it also contains a queue. So I removed the DQ, but really the AIStatefulTaskMutex already contains a queue by itself. If you wonder why does it need a queue, well, if multiple tasks are trying to lock this thing, say five tasks are trying to lock it and only one gets it, then the other 4 are waiting. So as soon as it is unlocked again, then we need the queue to find back those tasks and resurrect one of them, make that one run again. I'll just call it mutex. Lame, but right, so what you want is to return false when we want to wait, which means that we can just return the call to lock. And the set state and the wait I already put in the other code, in the calling code. So this is simply going to return mutex lock, and then this is the task that is trying to lock, and this is the condition. So if we manage to lock all the mutexes of all the create access objects, then this is going to return true all the time. Which means that in this loop, we never return false. We just go run over this loop here, and for each shader resource we get access, basically. However, I was using, I'm not sure if I want to do that. I was using AI thread safe. It's another library that I wrote for utility, how you want to call it. But I don't think it's really suited for this. I mean, if you look at the horror that this type represents, it's really a AI thread safe wrapper of this class. The reason was as follows: if I do this, then it is impossible to get access to create access. It just really, I wouldn't know how, unless you lock this mutex that it wraps. So you have the create access and the mutex together in one object, and the only way to get access to the object is by locking that mutex. So that makes it thread safe. You cannot access the mutex. Sorry, you cannot access the object unless you lock a mutex. But in this case, I want to only give access when we are able to lock multiple mutexes. So yeah, the whole AI thread safe approach kind of breaks down. So let's not do that. Let's not use that. But if I do not use AI thread safe, so I'm not wrapping it together with the mutex. I mean, if I would do that, I would have to replace this standard mutex here with my AI my AI stateful task mutex, making things very, very difficult, right? So we don't even have a standard mutex. So I just turn it into that. Then the whole use of having a create access object is not really, doesn't make much sense anymore. Because the only reason I wanted to do that is that it would protect me from accessing the base. You need to get access to the create access in order to get access to the base. But since I'm not protecting it anymore with AI thread safe, I have access to the base already. Otherwise I can never even access this. So yeah. I think we have to do away with the whole create access and just simply use base pointers. And then take care that we do not access it unless we do the right thing. So this puts more responsibility on the coder to not do stupid things, but I think I'm going to go in that direction. Also, this allowed me to use a read-write lock. I could read lock it, and then I would have const access to the base, and later I could convert it to a write lock, which would give me write access to the base, but that algorithm is also out of the door. So no, let's do the following thing. I'm going to delete this thing. I do not have to own anymore. I still need the mutex. Create access, the access points no longer there, but I do of course need the acquire, which then becomes a member function of the base itself. It's trying to lock that mutex. And we don't have this anymore, and we don't have this anymore. And I guess I can make, can put this one here because it's just private. And this must be a public function, why not? The big stuff, public function goes. Let's put it here. And we don't have a create access anymore. This would return a pointer to our create access thing, but we don't have that anymore either. Let's read the comments. Return a pointer to the create access object. The const cast that I just deleted. So go OK here because shader resource instances added with add pointer and texture blah 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 blah. Okay, yeah, well, we're going to need a const cast still, I think. So I'm going to need a const cast somewhere. And then this comment has to go with it, saying that it is okay here because shader resource instances added with add will only be created once. That's what I'm working on, right? So make sure that it is only done once. Synchronized by this mCreate access object. That's not true anymore. That is by, let's just fill in the mutex. I just called it mutex. I don't like the name anymore now. It's a bit short, but okay. Let's call it create access mutex. Synchronized by mCreate access mutex, while all other pipeline factories will be waiting for that to be finished. Well, that's still kind of true, although the pipeline factory drops out of the air here, out of nowhere, suddenly. What? Pipeline factory? But yeah, well, can I improve it on it? Let's say synchronizing pipeline factories by using mCreate access mutex. So that only a single pipeline factory will create the shader resources, while all other pipeline factories will be waiting for that to be finished. Okay, now it's a whole book, but it's correct. And that cast is going to be done somewhere, I think here. I think in acquire. Not sure yet. Where's acquire here? We'll automatically run into it, I guess. I'll leave the comment here for now. Okay, now I have a problem. I deleted the access, the create access type. So a lot of stuff is not going to compile anymore. I don't know where that is. I guess I could do a grep for it. Or I can just try to compile it. And see where all the compile errors occur. Okay, maybe not the smartest thing. Let's just grep for create access. It's not much. Yay. Okay, so this thing here is going to change into a vector of directly the base pointers, which requires changing all of that stuff, or all the code that uses that stuff. That's a lot. Push back. Now we have shader resource, which is a base const pointer. And I deleted this create access function, which had the const cast in it. So if I just try to store the shader resource, which is now base const pointer, then I really have to store base const pointer or it would not compile. Let's keep the const in it for now. I'm going to use the const cast in acquire, I think. This is now being sorted by the base pointer. That is equally good. And we run over base pointers. Well, actually, we run over base const pointers, which are now just shader resources. And then I want to call acquire by directly on the base. So that's good because you know, but that means that this must be const. Otherwise we cannot call it. And then the log is not const, so yes, we're going to need const cast here. So mcreate access is something. Well, no, let's remove the const here actually. Although then I have to move my comment, but okay, let's do that. Yep, the reason that it is okay to const cast away here is because it's acquire by is thread safe. That's very far-fetched, but that's what it comes down to, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, man. Okay, so do we have more things? So that this is not compiling. Let's see if we can get it to compile now that we made this change. Base is still const pointer, sorry, and I'm calling it a shader resource again. And yes, that helps in making it compile, because this will allow me to call the descriptor set key, which is a const accessor of the base class. So that will work. And binding, here's another descriptor set key call. That's good. And here we have a call to create. That doesn't sound very const. Do I need another? Stream is dead? What do you mean? I have an excellent connection, it says. Everything looks okay. Oh, Eric, yeah, spooky. I mean, I'm not paying enough attention to the chat sometimes. too concentrated on coding. I also see Kirill said hi and Geladia said hey. So hi and hey back. Not necessarily in that order. It's buffering. Well, it's maybe on your end because it looks it's telling me that. Oh, now it says no data. And now it says excellent connection. Let's hope it passes. Maybe it's telling me that I should go eat dinner. I don't know. Right, so real also says that it is okay. Shader resource create. Well, I don't think that these things are const. I'm not sure. Update crypto set. Logical device. Texture. Not const. I'm afraid that I'm going to need a non-const base here also. What does this create? I have a billion creates. Operating system, memory allocator, render graph, texture, non-const. And uniform, yeah, totally non-const. Okay, yeah, well, it really has to be non-const again. Okay, let's call it access. And then I'm going to make a base pointer that is non-const. Something like that. So buffer ask, are threads manage missing D, I guess, their own stack? Oh, manage. Are threads manage their own stack? No, I don't get it. I'm very bad at reading bad grammar. Not deliberately, I just don't very quickly don't understand what someone means if you make real strange mistakes. Can you say it again then correctly? I guess you mean do threads manage their own stack and instruction pointer? Yes, they do. Well, it is, now I commented on it. And no, my code is not clear to anyone, not even to me. But it works and it is bug-free. It's more than most people can say. It's bug-free after I finish with it anyway. So we have here yeah, well, if you paid attention during all the last streams every day, I'm only working and fixing bugs on code that I recently wrote. And we never ever saw any bug in all of the code that I wrote in the past 10 years that I'm also using. That just works. Every time we have a problem, it is in code that I wrote in the last week, and in most cases, the same day. No, indeed. But not writing code is not writing comments. I mean, is it doesn't make you a better programmer. Anyway, if ever anyone uses a const cast, that warrants a very large explanation in the comments, because normally a const cast is pure evil, and I do not really like that that it seems that I need a const cast at all. I would much rather not have this const cast here. But yeah, I don't see how to get rid of it without going into the ridiculousness. And if you really understand the code, then it's the right thing to do here. It's just slightly error prone, so the more comments the better. That will prevent a future maintainer to make some stupid mistake, although I don't think any maintenance will be necessary. But well, maybe, you know, if you add features, then changes might be necessary. Okay, so we're running over this list here and getting all the mutexes or not, and then we return false. And then we execute this, and then after this, before we return true, we have to unlock all the mutexes. So I'm afraid I have to run over them again and specifically unlock all of them. What's the opposite of acquire? Release, I guess, yes, just release. So that would be this here, unlock, just call unlock, okay, that doesn't even require any argument. I guess I'm going to need another const cast though, so let's call this also access. The same comments apply here. We still have the log, so why not? And then release the log. I'll call it release log. Maybe I should call it acquire log instead of acquire by. That would match the release log better, and it's literally what it does, right? So why not? Nope. Acquire by. Like that, right? And then this is going to start, well, signal. This condition is going to be signaled to the waiting tasks, and they then start running again. And they will enter this point. Which is dubious because we just created them, right? But that's not true, because they are just a subset. It might be that some of our resources are created, but not all of them. So I need to set a flag when a resource has been created, and then also detect that. So I skip the ones that are already created, the previous one. I've been working on this project for 2 years, so no. I've not been here a week. Yeah, I haven't been streaming for 2 years, if that's what you mean. And I deleted a lot of videos recently. Didn't see any reason to keep live videos on YouTube. Okay, so we enter here again, handle shader resource creation requests. Print, print, print. It's doing this again. There is definitely some additional complication now, I think. But I'm not sure. Anyway, calling acquire log kind of nonsensical, I think, if the thing is already created. So rather, I should probably test if it was already created without acquiring the log. You would almost start to wish that there was a way to run over this list here without having the const cast continuously. In other words, maybe I should just store base pointers in it instead of const pointers. That will at least reduce the number of const casts dramatically. Yeah, shall we do that? Shall we do that? I think I should do that, because I'm getting tired of all the... Or I can add a member function to base that returns a non-const pointer with an appropriate name. I think I'm going to do this with my own meaning of const. Meaning that I'm going to remove all the const casts here. Again. So different... It's a different terminal. What the heck, I can make the thing mutable. That is nonsense. Wait a minute. I think mutable will work, why not? Even less const costs. Something like that. And then I'm going to have another one, mutable, which is also thread safe because it's an atomic. Now explicitly we'll add false. Then we have also a thread safe const here. So I replaced my const cast with mutable, but well, same thing, different name. I'm going to add more comments because my code is not clear, so it needs lots of comments. No, it doesn't. It's very good of you, Matthias. Messias. I'm using Arch Linux. So what I basically want is mcreator to be set by the call to create, I guess. Why not? Or update the descriptor set. Or just set it no, yeah, theoretically both must be called, but It's kind of confusing, right? I mean, I need to call both create and update descriptor set. Let me think. Yeah, I really think that both must have been called and finished. And then created can return true. So that would mean that I can set a flag at the end of update descriptor set. Just do that, I guess. Which is a virtual function that is different every time. Nah, let's do it. Let's do it separately. I'm just going to add a set created. The call to create and of the descriptor set must happen after acquire log, return true, followed by a call to set created, and before the accompanied call to release log. Then obviously the call to created is going to return true after you call set created. Okay, I'm going to move this to the top here. And this below. Like that order a little bit better. I'm not sure if I need ready still. I thought I could delete that, but let's look in that in a minute. Look into that in a minute. So this must be store, I guess, true with the standard memory order release. That just means that if you if created returns true, then all the memory that has been written before set created was called is also flushed, so that everything that has been done in create and update descriptor set will be visible to the threads that see that created is set. Normal people just do assign true and read it, but that's sequential consistent, which is slightly slower and unnecessary. Okay, I think this is working. I guess suggestive, I could move this even below here. It can be called at any moment, but normally it would be called after release log to see that set created was already called. Although, okay, suddenly I have a different feeling about this. There is a race condition here. There is an annoying race condition here, or isn't it? I mean, it's possible that, say, at the moment this is being called, the other threads start running. And when they start running, they need the correct value of created. If set created is called before I unlock, then it might be that it wasn't unlocked yet. And then that means that we already start to use it before we unlock the mutex. Is that a problem? I guess not. Not because of the release and acquire. Theoretically, you would say that that may never happen, but yeah, I think this is the right order. If I would say move this line below the unlock, then you have a bigger problem. Because then it is possible that a new factory, pipeline factory, tries to get the lock and succeeds before that the flag is set. And then you get, it's going to create it again while it was already created. So the flag definitely has to be set before we unlock the mutex. And the only problem is that then it is possible that a new pipeline factory checks this flag, sees that the flag is set, and continues to use the shader resource before the mutex is unlocked. But that's not really a problem again. So this seems correct. And then I have to check here if it is already created. So if so this becomes without access simply. If what is it called? Is created. Got already what I called it. No, it was called created. Okay, set created and we have just created. That's less clear than is created. Let's call it is created. Right. Now I still have to call set created. And we do that then after the call to update here. Hello, Mohammed. When my music stops because I think that I'm not looking enough YouTube advertisements. Okay, it started again. What we have here is something that starts to look a little bit like something. No longer need those const casts. So I'm going to, I think I call them all like that. No, that's not true. I do need a const cast here because of these calls. I do not need it for set created, but well. Which probably means I should remove the const or the mutable. No, yes, I should the set created. Let's remove the mutable. Is that, does it make any sense that I do that? I can remove it. Let's hitchhike this const cast, because the const cast is really necessary for the create and update descriptor set, and this belongs to it. So yeah, I'm going to, no, that won't work. Hey, there we are. I'm going to make it non-const. Then m created. Well, this is simply an accessor, so this is nonsense to begin with. And it's also outside the release lock. For that matter, but it is thread safe, of course, because it's an atomic. It still has to be an atomic. But it doesn't need to be mutable anymore. Okay, let's see how many compile errors we get this time. Probably a lot, as usual. One warning and 2 errors. That's not a lot. It's not a lot at all. Almost nothing. Use of undeclared identifier set binding map. Yes, I did mean the other one, because we moved this to the object, so it can be reused after leaving and then re-entering. We leave it, we re-enter, and the set binding map is still there. Yeah, a Vulkan engine is kind of like a game engine. Vulkan is the successor of OpenGL. It is what was required because OpenGL is very old, and all the new video cards these days are so different from the original that it became unmanageable to write good drivers for OpenGL. So Vulkan is an API for GPUs that are much closer to the bare metal of the GPUs. Mac OS has its own version called Metal. Ta-da. But there is a Metal was already pretty fast, so it's much faster than OpenGL because you can just avoid all kinds of horrible hacks that are in the current drivers of OpenGL drivers. But Vulkan is so horribly low level, you have to do so incredibly much things as a user that I think if you just want to draw a single triangle on the screen, that takes at least 1,000 lines of code and several weeks of study, if you ask me. I'm 2 years into this project now, and I'm basically still drawing triangles. But the Vulkan engine is basically intended to then still make the life easier of the programmer that wants to write a game. You would say, well, why don't they write a Vulkan engine and call that the driver? Well, because this engine has a certain API that it has nothing like OpenGL, so it's new anyway. Maybe eventually, one of the Vulkan engines will become more or less of a standard, and then people will be using that mostly for games. It's probably not going to be my engine, so it's almost like research, I guess. Humanity might be using this, or they might not, and my guess is they will not, because code that I write is usually not very understandable for most people. People always think that what I do is too complex, too difficult. But it's going to be fast and powerful, like everything else that I make. The only problem is people don't understand it. Warning, missing terminating quote. Oh, really? What you really need here is that. Missing missing more stuff. Hey, Mr. Damir. How's university treating you? Did you make your homework? Otherwise, no YouTube for you. Too few arguments to function call. Well, at least here we have the type. And the new condition was called create shader resources. Oh, next week. Oh. Well, I hadn't seen you like not as much as before. You're not required to be here, by the way, but I just noticed it. So I thought maybe university had already started. cannot jump to this go-to statement because bypasses a variable. So this is, oopsie, this is still a variable that cannot be here. The sorted push constants ranges, but that is only used here. The realized descriptor set layouts are needed when, where, also only there, so we can just add a scope here. Ding, 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 ding. Enter, yeah, I think so. So as soon as I add a scope, I can no longer re-enter it. I can no longer leave the scope and then re-enter in the middle of it. For obvious reasons, because of the scope. But since I'm not doing that, I am leaving. We are leaving here on this return and then re-entering there. So that's outside this scope. But since that is using set binding map, that this binding map had to be removed from the scope that we had there. I just removed too much of the scope. Now it compiles. It's definitely not going to work, but yeah, that's not even bad. It doesn't crash. Okay, what's happening? Pipeline not available. On delete window blocks. Task counter K to win. I think that my pipeline factories are dead or something. They must be hanging on the mutex. That is my guess. You mean this? Yeah, it's just in the render loop. The render loop is warning me every time it tries to draw a new frame, and I limited the number of frames per second to not that much. So it's sprinting not even that much. Otherwise it would be flooding 60 per second, wouldn't it? Yeah. Frames per second set to 10, I see. 10 lines per second. I can of course look at the warning, but yeah, that won't explain a lot. I think it's just going to oh, what is that? Oh, this is the name of the. Sorry, this is the name of the render loop. This is the render loop. Also, this vertical bar here is the render loop. And this is the message. Pipeline not available. It's printed in two places, but two different applications. We're using the uniform buffers application. Fix me, this is a hack. What we really need is a vector with render proxy objects, which don't exist yet. So we get in the render loop, but not both the pipelines are not created yet. So there's clearly a problem with creating pipelines, and I bet neither of them exist. We simply do not get to the point where the pipelines are created. And since the code that we just added adds TaskMutex, I guess that both my pipeline factories are just hanging on mutexes. That seems like a good hypothesis, and we can simply see that by looking at the debug output. So let it run for a bit. Well, that seems enough. PI drop, go to the end. Yep, pipeline is not available. Now I go to the top and I'm looking for pipeline factory. And now we have the following thing. Create pipeline factory. So that's one of them. And oh, that's thread pool 0, and obviously it's actually going to call the constructor of the pipeline in that case. And it says, I'm gonna highlight this thread pool. So you lost all the other colors. It tells us what the task is that it created. This is a pointer to the task that we just created. So that's one of the pipeline factories. Now somewhere it's going to create another one here. Create another one. And that is another task pointer. And then after that is going to run them, and they are going to run from the thread pool. And the thread pool is going to run them every time they need the CPU. So there's no telling which thread pool thread is being used for it. But I can just highlight the task pointer. And then we could follow one task. Let's follow just one task. And I bet both tasks are hanging, so we only have to follow one of them. So now I'm highlighting this, and then we can see what that task is doing. First, we call run on it, so the task is being started, which always starts with reset, which and call to multiplex, which is yeah, basically the engine of AI stateful task. It must run, it says, so I'm adding it to the thread pool. Then it is being run from the thread pool, I guess. Entering AI stateful task signal 2, fully initialized. Okay. Task is not waiting. Again, we enter multiplex, gets more CPU. We enter the state bullshit reset, I mean base state reset. Now it's actually going to execute the reset state, which is not very interesting. Then we get base state initialize, then we get initialize implementation, which is not doing anything, at least it doesn't print anything. And then finally we really start running the task, starting with pipeline factory start. Which is accompanied by the base state changing from initialize to multiplex. So now it's really running. Running state, base state multiplex slash pipeline factory start. Set state pipeline factory start. It was already that. So I don't know why that's happening. Base state change from, oh wait, that's the other one. I have to look at highlighted things here. Create, oh, now we create another task here. It's being passed the pipeline factory, but this is just a pipeline cache, so also not really interesting. It will be in run. You need to look at when this highlighted pointer is between the square brackets. That's the task. AI stateful task set state pipeline factory initialize. So we just started the pipeline cache task, and now we're going to initialize. But that cannot happen until the pipeline cache has been set up. So what it does is it calls wait one, between brackets, that this one is called pipeline cache setup. So it's going to wait until the pipeline cache is set up. No need to run, removing from thread pool. So you see the thread is returning to the thread pool, but the task is now waiting. It's not running. So now the cache is doing stuff until we start running it again. So here you see that this is probably the no, it's another one. Well, anyway, we get signaled, and then oh, here it says the signal. Signal is being called by whoever. The pipeline cache. So this is the pipeline cache task, and that's thread pool 3, and thread pool 3 is calling signal on our task, and the signal is pipeline cache setup. Now the big trick of this library is that the very same thread that was running pipeline cache is now continuing immediately with running the other task. So you really have no idea when a task is being run, or by which thread rather. Anyway, we start running again. Multiplex is being called, and it says, "Yay, we need to run, adding to thread pool." So it's not immediately running, it's just being added to the thread pool. Okay, here we run from thread pool 2. Multiplex is being called, normal run. Multiplex pipeline factory initialize. We're still in initialize. We return to the initialize point. No, we do not return. This is the first time we run initialize. Before it set the state to pipeline factory initialize, and then it started waiting for the pipeline cache to be finished. And now that is finished, we actually start running this this state. Set state pipeline factory initialized with a D. So now it's getting optimistic. And it says wait fully initialized. So now it is waiting until it is fully initialized. But it immediately starts running that, so that already happened apparently. We are now running initialized. Lots of stuff happening in other threads. Lots and lots of stuff. Okay, we're running again apparently, and well, pipeline factory top multi-loop for loop is a little slightly surprising, because the last set state that I saw was another, and that's not being run. Yeah, well, it can't be a problem because it used to work. Not even going to scroll up. So we're now running this thing here, top multi-loop for loop. Set state top multi-loop while loop, also being run, I guess. Set state top multi-loop for loop, goes to the top again. Top multi-loop while loop. Oh, there's a different. I keep seeing this highlighted, factory highlighted. This is the other pipeline factory. I just have to look at this pointer here. It is not running for a long time. Unknown condition 4. Oh, I think I just forgot to add it to the debug output. 4 was just the condition that we just added. Anyway, here it runs again, and set state pipeline factory create shader resources. Yay, and we fall through. And we call handle shader resource creation request. That looks good. Now this is threadpool 2. So entering shader input data, get VHV descriptor set layouts. And then we get sorted descriptor set layouts is stuff. And then we get entering AIStatefulTaskMutex log. Created a new node at Mutex acquired. So it succeeded in getting it. We have a for loop over all the shader resources, which is in total 4. 3 uniform buffers and 1 texture. And I see that it acquired everything immediately. There is no race here. Okay, so we should immediately continue. Threadpool 2, shader resource, entering logical device, allocate descriptor sets. So now it goes on with allocating the 3 descriptor sets, 1 for a uniform buffer, 1 for another uniform buffer, and 1 for a uniform buffer and a texture. So we have 3 of those. And they are created and returned here. This is shader, threadpool 2. That goes on. Set key to set index hint, get set index hint, update descriptor sets. It's not printing a lot. Okay, yeah, the texture is already created, so it can just immediately update the texture. And then we get uniform buffer create, so we need to see this one 3 times. Create buffer. And this is threadpool 2, so I do not have to pay attention, should not pay attention to threadpool 0. Here's threadpool 2 again. I really miss the colors here in this editor. It's so annoying. I have to fix it someday. Created object pipeline factory top buffer, though that is the first uniform buffer that is now created. And then threadpool 2 says create pipeline factory left buffer. That's the second uniform buffer. And threadpool 2 continues with created pipeline factory bottom buffer. Okay, I'm slightly confused now. Why? I mean, it says pipeline factory : If that was true, then we would have a buffer per pipeline factory, which is not the case. It seems that this prefix is wrong. But okay, it's just a debug name, so. There's definitely more wrong here with debug names. So I think we created everything. And let me follow threadpool 2, allocated buffer with memory requirements, still creating stuff. And now it's calling update descriptor set on all three the uniform buffers. At least I would think so. Oops. 3 of them, right? There's 1, 2, 3, yeah. So this was the last one. This one. Oop. Okay, I'm gonna follow. No, let me say. Well, I already lost my pointer. I think I've highlighted something else, so that might as well follow threadpool too. It's slightly easier. So now, after it did all the things, it created all 4 shader resources, it allocated descriptor sets, it called the update descriptor set on everything. It calls now unlock, and it should call unlock 4 times, right? Once for each shader resource that it locked. And I count indeed 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mutex released. Unlock. So apparently no other task is waiting for it, because it just releases the mutex and nothing else happens. Then it says creating graphics pipeline with range values, blah blah blah. Create graphics pipeline. So lots of stuff, and then created object pipeline that, and then we call need action on the probably on the, let's highlight this, need to run set, that's a pipeline factory. It's slightly confusing, I have to say. No, it's not. It's not a pipeline factory. There it is. Move new pipelines, is it? This is the task that has been run. It's running move new pipeline, new action. So we have a new pipeline. It was created and is being passed to the task move new pipelines, which causes synchronous window have new pipeline to be called. Pipeline factory done, signal 4, factory finished. Need to run, hit task to thread pool, so now this one starts running. Let's highlight that one then. Pipeline cache factory finished. But it's merging pipeline cache. It's also not super interesting for us. Yeah, well, it's slightly annoying. I mean, I don't see any problem, right? It's just simply being created. Pipeline is being created. And then being moved to, or given to the move pipeline task. And the cache is handled, everything. So, but this just one pipeline, and we have 2 pipelines. So if one pipeline got set and the other one isn't, then we would still see these errors here. So where was that call to when the pipeline was delivered to the synchronous window? I can never find that back, right? Synchronous window. Have new pipeline. Was that the one? I think so. Get logical device. Have new pipeline. Yeah. Let's follow what happens here. And I'm also interested in seeing how often that is called. So if I go to the top of the log file and I search for it, I see it on line 2170. And that's it. Okay, so we get only one call to have new pipeline. So the other pipeline is not arriving, but this one did. I'm going to assume that that have new pipeline is ending at the right place. Shall I just check that just for kicks? Let's check it for kicks. Which UBT? Let's run it in debugger. I need to be able to set a breakpoint here though. So let's look what that is. Oops. That's in Windows.H632. So we're going to run this. Let's just run it. That's cool. Chance. You switch your major to computer science. If you watch my no, I shouldn't say that. I have only 16 viewers today. Wow. Normally I would sit at 70 or 60, 40 at least. I must be doing something wrong. Anyway, we are here. Now I want to break at this point and then continue running until that point and then have a look. And we should have one graphics pipeline set, but not the other. Well, this looks like not set, at least it doesn't even have a layout. Vector is 0, I don't know what this is showing. Set print static off. And let's print it as hex, maybe that's... that looks very nothing-ish. Vector empty, values are all 1s or 0. Now I hope that this one is set. That looks a lot better, see? So graphics pipeline 1 arrived, but the other one didn't. Yeah, I'm happy with this. Okay, so now we can go back to the log file and look at what happened to the other pipeline factory. I was just following the wrong one. How annoying. So we go to the top again, and then I was looking for pipeline factory. The pipeline factory was created, and we were following the first one that was created. Entering returning task pointer, right? So I must have been following this one, and create is being called again a little bit later. Well, it should be. Here it is. Returning task pointer. I'm going to follow the other task then, and hopefully a little bit faster. I did go through it rather slow because I thought this whole task thing must be new to people that are watching. Now I'm going to go a little bit faster, I think. So we have a reset, adding stuff, fully initialized. Okay, so what was that? Yeah, we're running and pipeline factory start. Factory initialize. Pipeline cache set up. We're waiting for that. Here it is signal, so it starts running again. And then we run initialize and initialized. Wait for fully initialized. We immediately also start running that. Top for loop, create shader resources. And hopefully this time around it's going to fail to get the mutexes, or it's going to... okay, I think I know what is wrong. Okay, this is this one is also calling handle shader. This is the new function, right? The new kit in town. And this time around we have a binding map that is not identity, as you can see. Set 0 is swapped to 1 and set 1 is swapped to 0. And again, the binding numbers are not swapped, and I even have an assert to check that never happened. So I just should replace the whole set binding map to just a set map. Already said that before a few streams ago, but yeah, still did not get to it. I guess it doesn't hurt to have a identity map for the binding numbers every time, but someday I'm going to remove it. Okay, so what happens next? I'm going to follow this thread because I think it's going to do a lot of stuff. Okay, also calls get Vulcan handle vector with descriptor set layouts. We have that thing, and then we have now that allocate descriptor sets. Did what? Yes. Do I want that? Let me think. Yeah, it's definitely surprising me. I thought we were also sharing the actual descriptor sets. Why is it calling allocated? Because the other one also has allocated the descriptor sets. Oh wait, I think I'm allocating it even before I look in the cache. So it's going to throw them away again, I hope. Returning. That doesn't look like it threw away anything. Look at descriptor sets. We are inside handle. No, indeed. No, it's not okay. Well, it says no data here. Now it says excellent connection again. I think there is a problem with the internet between me and YouTube a little bit. Because the amount of data I send to YouTube is rock stable. I can see the bandwidth that I'm using. But YouTube did inform me that it did not receive any data for a few seconds. Yeah, it should be okay, but exactly at the moment that Arnold says that he has a problem, YouTube tells me that there is no data. But now it's excellent connection again for since a minute or what, so it should be okay again at least. But yeah, okay, thanks for saying that it's okay on your end. I'll just continue. What's happening here? I feel like I should not be allocating descriptor sets again. Okay. Well, I say okay, and he can't hear it, so I'll type it. Why are we allocating? I'm gonna ignore this for a moment, but it definitely feels wrong. Okay, scroll down. Update descriptor set is also called. Well, it has to because it just allocated descriptor sets. Create buffer. What the? Oh, yeah, okay. I'm getting it. Yeah, this. I blame it on my my age, man. At some point, just lose overview, and then I start compiling, and then when it compiles, I just run it, but I just completely implementing certain pieces, and I don't realize that I haven't implemented it yet. So when it compiles, I just run it because I don't realize I forgot something, and then I have to debug that it doesn't work, and then I find out that I just forgot to implement something. And it got late anyway. I probably should stop the stream and go to bed. I mean, if I stop the stream now, I have an excuse that I can maybe still start a game of Risk, which I'm also. Shall I just stop the stream, but not really, and start play Risk on the stream? I feel like it. I feel like playing Risk. I'm going to continue with this tomorrow again. Okay, this is the end of the stream. End of C++, going to play Risk. You can't say that I'm not honest, right? Warning everyone. What I do hate, though, is that I still have no access to my real account. I don't know how to do that. I should just fix that at some point. Yeah, who cares? Library, Risk, Play. Try to fit OBS. Oh, it's full screen anyway. Okay, well that it works, right? Okay, well at least I promoted to expert now, so it is. We are done with the novices. Can't wait until it becomes master. Global domination. Let's try. 12. Oops, what did I do? I removed my filters. No, why? And then it's all gone. Manual placement off. All. Auto. What? card bonus. Fixed. Map pack all AI difficulty expert turn timer. I don't really care. Well, 3 minutes and 8 minutes. Okay. It would be nice if you could say this one and this one and this one, or this one or less, or this one or higher, you know, or an interval. No, you can only filter on exactly that. That's ridiculous. Who codes something like that? You must be completely crazy if you, I mean, or lazy or an asshole. Probably all of them, especially the last one. Fog of War. I really like fog. I'm going to try what I like. L is off. Dice rolls. Balance blitz. Ranked. Yes. Minimum rank. I don't care. I mean, yes, I care. Expert. Maximum rank. Well, all. So now I set everything reasonably, but the manual placement is, yeah, auto means probably no manual placement. Capital Conquest. Now we have only 2 games left. Okay, we'll try this one. Let's try to join it. Australia. Now we have to wait for 2 other people. It can take up to a few minutes, unfortunately. Could start my own game. I think this is not a map that is a classic map. It's not very popular, right? It's not even fun. Nobody's joining anyway. If there was a quick start, I would say, okay, let's go classic. I'm not sure if I have, I probably do not even have access to my own maps. No, I probably have to play with these guys. Well, maybe I should reprogram the filters again a little bit broader because it takes forever. Oh, there's someone. Let's wait a minute longer to see if we get a 4th person. So these are expert and up. So most likely they're just... And now he adds a bot. For Capital Conquest, I should leave, really. And then at the last moment, what an idiot. Why? Okay, I'll play, but it's so stupid. The problem with the capital is that the bot cannot play, so he's going to give away his capital very soon. And then just some random dude. Yeah, now we have 2 bots. Now we have 2 bots. Really nice. So now I'm playing against 2 humans and 2 bots. So someone is getting, well, 2 persons are getting 2 capitals. And the 3rd person is having only 1 capital. You're going to see that that will be me. Okay, Orange is getting Australia, apparently. It's my turn. Where did Red put it? And I don't see where Red put it. Oh my god, really? I hope here. If not, it's going to be here or here. So I guess I'll put mine here. Well, maybe not even here. I'm going to put it here, I think. Shall I put it here? Or shall I put it here? This asks for more aggression. Plus, they could ignore my capital and take this continent anyway. I'm going to put it here, I think. And now, I want to see at least where... I also don't get to see where yellow put it. Oh my god. Yeah, this is this is no fun. The orange is going to get Australia, and then a single point of defense with his capital. So black has no incentive whatsoever to attack orange. And clearly he's going for Australia, getting 5. Oh my god. Like that. Okay. Bots have a certain strategies. Red is clearly having the strategy that it abandoned its capital. No, there is this strategy for bots that shall I try to take it? Yeah, otherwise someone else takes it. Okay, that succeeded. That's nice. Oops. End attack phase. Fortify. Move from here to there. Right. Okay. Well, at least I have one of the capitals. That is also very nice. It makes orange a little bit more harder, but also me. There were only 2 here, but I had no chance to capture it. Okay, so the yellow bot is trying to get whole continents and putting armies everywhere. And red seems to have the strategy of building up until there's a lot of troops. And then it just goes with one territory, bang, 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 bang. So the nice part is that it went this way. So this is all red. It's not going to come back. And we'll see red enter here at some point. And then it's going to attack or bother black and orange. So I would... He's going immediately after yellow. Let's hope it takes him a... Oh no, he's going to put that one there. Yeah. Okay, so he still has a few lot here. I think probably too much for me. I need to kill this fast as well. Well, maybe not fast, but the stupid bot will keep building this up. I want to keep this to see... Oh! Red is returning. Ouch! Ouch! Yeah. Yep. Okay, red is... I'm a mistake. Red is going after this continent because he has... all of this is red now, so he really, really wants this one. Did black already get all of this? I don't think he did. But this is only a single blue one, so he might attack it and then see that this is empty. Otherwise I could attack this and then move everything here. And then at least I would have a continent and then protected the next one. I'm afraid I'm going to have to make this a lot. 13 here might not even be enough. I have to put everything there. That's pure horror. Yellow can also attack me. This is so scary. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit more here. Just. Oh. Now don't place 5 here and attack me, because then I'm dead. Okay, that went well. Now let's survive red. Red is going to get 3 armies because I took its capital. How many did yellow get? Did it already lose? It got 5. So yellow did not lose its capital, which means that yellow's capital might be up here or here. If it were here, then I don't know. Well, then at least it's bothering orange. We'll see, I guess, how many. Orange gets 5. Okay, orange did not get Australia. So probably yellow has a capital in Australia because orange threw a lot of armies against that. So orange is definitely not my problem, but black is. Black is going to get so much. I want red to go here, and damn it, why not? 13, uh-oh. Probably not yet. Yep, it's loading up. It's really wanting me. Can we take the risk again to... Let's build up again with... I have to put everything here, like... You get 3, then 18. So less than 18 is not possible. I'm gonna put 1 here. Not sure if I can take the risk. That if I attack it, I might not have nothing left here. That's also not good. I am going to attack here though, with the hope that right, and attack. The hope is that red is going to divide its armies over 2 territories. Then it's not that dangerous anymore. And I think that yellow rather puts stuff here than here, apparently. It's beyond me how someone can have 15, 10, 10. Does he already have 5 troops? He does not have Europe yet. Orange did get, fuck off. Orange did get 9 troops. 9 troops. So that is Orange did get Australia and the capital of yellow. If I have a set, I have a chance. I do not have a set. No, the black is here. He sees what I'm doing. Oh my god, he really keeps up. Please attack this. Yeah, it's that strategy. He keeps all the armies together. I'm having a huge problem here. Huge problem. So +3 is 20, so I have to add at least 2. Let's add 3. But if red has a set, he's going to put it down there. It's just what he's going to do. Then I'm dead. I'm just totally dead. Okay, there is one other possibility that I can do. Try, I think. I can try to make it think that it doesn't have this continent anymore. By attacking a lot of stuff. Why don't I just kill it? Nobody sees it. If I kill it, it might leave me alone or not. No, I think I have more chance to... what? Oh, pressing the wrong key. I don't want... I, Yeah, now black is seeing me. My hope is that red is now more concerned about not having those 4 countries of the continent that it wants than about attacking me. I mean, even if it has a set of 10, say it has 27, it would have definitely attacked me if it had all those red, because it was the last country of the territory then. But now it might think, I need those 4, and then it will end up here and maybe attack black. I don't know. It's gonna be tough. Still no set. Really? Playing bots is so annoying. Annoying like hell. Orange is getting 9 in the meantime. I don't think I'm going to win this. And the whole reason is that I have to do with a psychopathic bot. It's giving me no chance whatsoever. Go, go, go. Okay, that's good. Now stay away. Now you have bloody chance that it comes back, and next time it will have a set. Please don't come back. Is it still attacking? It went in here, it went in here. Whew, I lost it. Thank God. Finally. But I still don't have a set. Okay. Black does also not have a set. He has only 2 cards, so I'm going to get my continent. Okay, now back in the game basically, because now I get as many armies as orange gets. And no doubt red and yellow, the bots, are going to bother black incredibly. So I can just save up and let him attack the bots without having lost armies myself against the bots. If I would not have put here all those armies here and, you know, waited with attacking this one, red would have attacked me and I would have lost first. I would have become lost. So you really need to know the bots. You need to understand how they think. But I really rather do not play against bots. Especially not capital conquest, because it's just stupid. It gave me it gave orange free capital and me as well. Okay, well, a little bit more psychology will go into it now. So now the trick is that neither orange nor black really knows what I'm doing. They can't see me because of the fog. And orange feels very strong. So probably orange is going to attack black at some point, not wanting black to get Europe, which then makes them mortal enemies, and then they're going to attack each other, and in the meantime they have to deal with the bots. So it should be possible for me to, you know, stay out of the attention and just build up armies, do nothing. Okay, I do not want to be attacked here, of course, so let's make the reasonably big army here. 25. Let's do nothing. Well, not entirely nothing. I'm building up with the idea that eventually I want to get this continent as well, but I can only do that by the time that I'm so strong that I cannot take it back. So now instead of defending it at one point with one capital, I'll have to defend 2 points, one bordering black and one bordering orange. We just saw that orange was going after this point. So if I do that too early, then they're waking up thinking, oh my god, blue has 2 continents, we cannot allow that, and they're going to attack me instead of each other. Which is definitely not a good idea. I need like 200 armies before I would do that. Let them fight for a while. It's just too bad I cannot see how many armies they have, but well. Superman, yeah. It just... I had really a few good days, and now it's... The game is already here. Well, I don't want the bots to attack each other. Nine. Okay, let's... So I'm putting this here, I think. Like I explained in a previous stream, it's unlikely bots stick to territories with a lot of armies. So, oh, that's not what I expected. It's going after this territory. Well, it's fine with me. But okay, normally the bot will want to have a lot of armies here because it has this. As soon as it has this continent, it feels afraid that I will attack it and take it from it. But if there are a lot of yellow bots troops here, then black will not attack me either, because it would have to attack the bot, and nobody wants to attack bots. Bots are so stupid that it's very easy to win from them. So black will not want to attack red. It will not want to attack yellow, but it will have to defend against it. And in the meantime, orange is going to bother it because, yeah, they're just going to fight here. I can't see it, but it's unavoidable. What the hell is this? Still draft? I have another set. If orange goes offline, we have a new problem, because then black is going after me, simply because I'm the last human. Still online, but not doing anything. There's probably a lost connection. It happens a lot. Well, it's not a bot yet. It is a strategy that some people use. I have the feeling that they just don't play, and then people start to consider them to be a bot and stop attacking them. Well, okay, red is taking over. I don't know where yellow is, but not here anymore. $19, so let's put 10 here or something like that. And 9 here. Okay, I'm just curious. I'm kind of scared to attack this because then black sees what I'm doing. But what is here? Red with 1. Okay, well, I'm gonna take the chance, I think. Put 31 here. Oops, it's not possible. I have to attack it first. Idiot! Okay, next time around then. So next time I get again 9 armies, attack this, and then it's at 31, while black is defending on this side against a single army of a bot. I don't think he will be able to attack my 40. On the other hand, orange can attack this at any moment again. And if then I only have 8, that wouldn't be very good. Maybe I should wait a little bit longer. I don't know. What happened with orange anyway is still online. Okay, I didn't see that. 4 cards, that's nice. I mean, depends, but 15. Yeah, he's going to go away again or not? He's going to stay. Yeah, he's staying. Curious, curious. If he puts 15 here with no threat, it means that he must have Europe by now, right? 10 troops, yep, he does have Europe. And orange is back on this side. So I think I retreat in peace. Do I want to get a card by attacking 3 and revealing that I have 35 here, or shall I just... No, maybe, I don't know. I could take black by surprise on this side with 35. Let's do that. $29 of orange. Okay, let's see what is happening now. There's a small chance he's gonna use the 15 to re-strengthen his border here. Especially because of the 29 here. I'm not dangerous because there's a 1 here. I cannot attack him again. Well, unless the bot is going to attack me, which of course the bot is. Now I can still see what happens here, so I'm very curious if now the 29 that are here is going to attack him. He should. He really should do that. Attack. Come on. It's a bot. Fucking hell, he's offline. I guess red is also... now I have to do with the bot here. Yeah, red is probably having his lost armies here, so I'm gonna kill red, I think. And then I'll get the 3 cards, which gives me a set. Already have a set. A full set. Well, let's do that. Yeah, well, otherwise someone else is getting it. I don't know. Didn't see how much it costed me. At least this will stop. Oh yeah, I should have taken the 5 there as well, of course. This guy is still offline, yeah. It's now me against black, so I didn't do that really correctly. No, attack me, attack me. Ugh. Ah. Now I see that orange is going to attack me, although orange is probably wanting to get this continent. He is putting stuff there. Do not attack me. How much did he get? 19 troops. So he already has this continent. Yep, he's attacking me. Really nice. Not. Ah, he is attacking black. Okay, that's very good. That is very good. Very, 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 very good. So now we're going to say it's really me against a human, right? I can win from orange from any position. Just bots are just too stupid. So what I want to do is let them fight. Though it kind of bothers me that orange has this whole thing here. I'm not attacking. I'm just going to go here, I think. Let's see how... Yeah, -12. You really want to have Europe. Orange is going to give attack here and then give me another chance to enter. And he is retreating from this. So if at some point I can occupy this territory without a black hand take me back, then I just win. Then I win really hard. I don't think he took Europe from black. And he put 8 here. And I only have 9. But he is surrounding black. So I think I can let him have his 5 troops. He's going to use it to attack orange. Instead, I'm going to get another card here. Now I must think about taking this or not. I think I'll take it, weakening orange a little bit. And then black doesn't know that I did this. So black is still afraid that orange has this. And he's going to attack orange. On this side probably. And then he still doesn't know that I took this. Because he took a territory and then orange doesn't get its armies. I mean, black is at least an expert, so he should be not entirely stupid. He has realized that he must, in this situation with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bordering bot continents, he cannot leave orange have this continent. Orange has this continent, this continent, this continent in his eyes. He's going to be completely killed if he doesn't do anything about that. And he is, because he's attacking a lot. This is not in Europe. He's attacking here something, I guess. I hope. Maybe even took Australia. There were a lot of attacks. 7 troops. Yep, he took Australia. 7, is that correct? Yep, that is I think he maybe 3 plus. Not sure what he did. I'm not sure what he did. 7 would be 2 capitals, but if he has still 2 capitals, he would have Australia as well. So I think that black took this capital. Which means that I have to strike black extremely hard now. I'm going to strike here. Orange just entered this point, so he does not have Europe. Taking advantage, I wanted to say take a risk, but taking advantage that this is fork. So black has no clue that he can run. Probably, well, if he attacks here, he probably already has a lot of armies here. He can just enter here and take my capital, take my continent, and have some kind of chance. But of course he's not going to do that at all. He's much more interested in attacking this one back, and then it is too late. But what is he doing? Wouldn't be too strange if he attacked. He doesn't attack here. Maybe I'm kind of lucky. I don't know what he's doing. $11. I think he took the other capital as well. So how much is orange then going to get? Well, orange maybe has a lot of territory, so it's a bit hard to say. I think he migrated completely into. So he has 3. Yeah, he has 3. You can see it here. So he took this capital. He has Australia now. And he's losing anyway because he cannot get another continent. I have also 2 capitals. So his Australia is equal to this one, his capitals are equal to my capitals, and I have +5 on him. I have more armies, and he is probably more involved with Orange as well. I give myself at least 90% chance to win this. Yeah, okay, he gets 11 and I get 15, so that is, that's not even that clear. It's not like I can take on the bot and then still think to win if he's not doing that. This is really strange. I think, well, maybe not. Is he still online? He's still online. Okay, 25. Let's sacrifice 5 for my, just in case. And then we can put 10 here. And 10 here. Wait a minute. If Orange has a set, he might get crazy. I'm gonna add 10 here, I think. Next phase, let's attack here. Then black sees what I have here, but who cares? And then again, maybe he doesn't. Seven. Guess he has this continent. I hope not that Orange is going after Europe. I think I should take Europe here to avoid that. Let's attack here to make him think that I get a card like that. Oh, he's gone. Okay, so black has this whole part here. Bordering orange and everything. And now I should just I should just wait until black does something and then do nothing in the meantime. That's the smartest thing here. Which is boring. But I get more cards than black, so that's the way to win. He has 2 cards, he wants another card. He gets 2 armies, he's only bordering orange. He's going to attack orange. Or isn't he? Still draft. Orange is still offline, that probably remains like that. He is attacking and fortifying. He did get a card. I think he attacked from his capital here. From a capital here to here. And the bot did attack that back. And he had like 13 here and he put something there. So now he has like 7 again. So if he does that again, he's losing 7 troops just to get a card. That's kind of stupid. So this is the sticky behavior of bots. This bot is sticking to this capital with obviously a lot of armies, and that makes it not really want to. Well, it's gone, but it doesn't really want to attack me because it wants to stick to this. It looks like black is really sacrificing a lot of troops by removing orange. Maybe he already gave up and thinks I'm going to kill the bot before I'm killed. It's amazing that he keeps being able to do several attacks without that I see anything. It really seems like he's trying to eradicate orange, which now gets only 3 troops. So. Orange is taking back its continent. Yeah, do I want to do anything? Let's make this 60. And let's make this 60. And then do something with this. But what? Well, he's going to have to attack orange again. 2 cards now. He has 60 in that capital-ish. That's quite a lot. He doesn't want to attack me because then his capital's empty, so he's going to retreat now. Well, at least I know now how much he has. Probably then also has an equivalent amount here, which means that I already have 100 troops more than black. But well, playing it slow is always best. Let's see if we can remove some territories from black. Just 2 territories, not much. Well, I have the feeling that maybe he just only has here, only has this. And not even this anymore. He just gave up Europe completely, so he only kept the capital. Yeah, it keeps capitals balanced, 70-70. Well, why not? Resign. It could be a master, that would be nice. I mean, the higher the better, then I get more points. But he's not really playing like a strong master or anything. It's definitely not a strong master. And he's certainly not a grandmaster. Oh, thank you. See that it was a good idea to put the 8 here. Otherwise he would have even taken this. Ooh, you're too late to put armies here. Now I get all of Australia. The only thing I do not want is that Orange get the idea to attack me here. What shall we do? Well, getting Australia's is easier said than done, I have to admit. I would have to go like this, and God knows how many troops Orange has here. But on the other hand, you know, let's put 2 here to kill the 6. And then the rest here, which is hopefully enough to get Do you think I can get this one? I don't think so. It's possible, but not absolutely necessary possible. Can also not make a connection to here, unfortunately. Let me see, what shall I do? Well, the time is up, so just move this over here, I guess. I have the feeling it's going to be finished very soon. What he is probably wanting is to go like this and then take here and then also take here, and then he does know how many there are here, so he's probably leaving 35 here and then 35 here, a little bit less if he plays at all. He's not playing. That's so lame. Come on, do something, man. Really. Oh, he's still playing. Okay. No, well, it might be a bot. He went offline. That is so lame. But bots can't play, so the rest is easy. Two more turns, I think. Maybe even less. Less. Just finish it right now. Hmm. Let's hope he's not coming back. I failed to get it. Uh-oh. He's still offline. Next turn. You see, the bot has no clue that the game is end. Oh, he did put something back. I was thinking. If I take this capital, it's finished, so. Yeah, well, I do not want him to attack this thing. Come on. No. Again not. What the hell? Don't tell me I need to get another continent. Okay, it's taking longer than expected. I'll have to play a little bit better, I guess. Cannot let you have that, so you must put something here, something there. Take this, take this, and this, and then and attack. Put that there. So that's one continent more. Now he's leaving his. Now he's leaving the capital alone, I think. So now I can just take it like this. Finally. Well, I think 2 experts. A master and a grandmaster. Okay, the grandmaster lost because he just lost the connection. Okay, so I'm a grandmaster as well, but not on this account. This is just a non-paid account, etc. I'm still an expert, so maybe you have to refresh it like this. There's more to see. Still experts. Rank 55,000. Holy low. Yeah, okay, still expert. Well, whatever. I might play on this account more often, and then we'll become higher. Now it's time to go to bed. Thank you, Nikos. Well, it was a fun game anyway, but I don't know, not really, you know, bots and stuff. It's not as emotional. 2 bots to begin with. The Grandmaster lost his connection. It was a boring game, basically. You got to see a game with 3 or 4 Grandmasters that are no bots. Much more interesting. Yeah, drinking Coca-Cola at 1 a.m. Really smart. I'll see you guys tomorrow, because it's